Welcome to the 5 Minute Life's Questions and Lessons podcast. I'm your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. Let's get started with today's topic. This is what's keeping you from saying no. Part two. This is what's keeping you from saying no. Part two. So, last episode, and I feel like I didn't address this last episode. If you can see me, I'm in my jammy jams because it's that kind of day. But anyway, last episode we really talked about this concept of rewards, right? So I learned about this concept from Jen Sincero, and she basically talked about the way that there are rewards for being broke. And she talked about some of the things like when you're broke and your friends invite you out for dinner, they know you can't afford it, so they offer to pay. That's a reward. Or when you're broke and you want to go out, for a trip, people want you to come on a trip with them. They know they don't, you don't have the money. They offer to pay. So I brought this idea to starting to say no and thinking like, oh my gosh, yes, this is something that keeps us from saying no because we are rewarded for saying yes. So, last episode was really an opportunity for, first of all, for you to think about that concept and just kind of marinate on how you felt about just the concept of rewards. And we dealt with the external rewards on the last episode. But what I'd like you to do on this episode is think about what are the internal rewards you receive from saying yes. What are the internal rewards you receive from saying yes? So maybe when you say yes, when you don't really want to say yes, because this is what this series is about. I'm not talking about saying no to something you actually want to do and you're excited about and you have the capacity to do. No. If you're thinking that, we can go back to the beginning of the series and I, described. That's not what we're talking about. So when you're saying yes to something that you don't want to do or you feel obligated, there's certain things that kind of come up. But what are the rewards to saying yes? Maybe one of the internal rewards is you don't feel bad, right? You feel like you're a good person when you say yes. That's an internal reward. Thinking about just the concept of our society of you're expected to say yes. Like people are surprised when you say no. That's go try it out. You think I'm kidding? Go try it out. The next thing you get invited to, say no just because we're practicing and this is our series. And I almost guarantee you with 99.9% accuracy or whatever trust that the other person will be surprised that you say no. It's just something that we normally don't do. So I just want you to take a moment and really encourage you to ask yourself this question in curiosity, not judgment, but really think about what are the internal rewards that you are currently receiving from saying yes? And how can you, first of all, become aware of those rewards and kind of reframe them so that you are able to say no when you need to say no. So for me, one of the internal rewards was I didn't want to feel like a bad person. I didn't want to feel specifically, I didn't want to feel like I'm letting my family down because that's what family does. Family goes to all the things, like in my family, right? Family shows up for each other, family creates time for each other. But what I needed to get to was an understanding of yes, you can make time for your family. Yes, you can make time for your friends, not at the detriment of your own mental health, of your own emotional needs. And I need a lot of space. I've realized that in this season of my life because of the work that I'm doing and what I'm trying to teach you to do, right? Asking yourself these questions. So, hopefully, this episode in this series has been helpful for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening or watching my words. And as always, if you found this episode helpful, I'm like losing my words over here. If you found this episode helpful, please share it. And until next time, take care.